I want to tell you a secret. This video isn't going to be for everyone, but it's for you. Your soul is asking for something more. You weren't put here just to hold things down. You were also placed here to rise. And sometimes rising means admitting you've lost yourself in the service of others. And if you've been feeling like you're successful on paper, but really internally, inside, you feel out of place, even though you can't explain why. You know what you feel. This video is for you today. Be brave and stick around. I want to share with you what I discovered about that feeling. It's a scary place, I know, for the average woman who is used to having it all put together, or at least being the go-to person. Let me share with you my story. Okay, so one day I was sitting at my desk when a wave of emotion that I have been trying to ignore for months suddenly came upon me as I'm sitting there. I tried my best. I was holding it together because I'm at work. You don't want to fall apart at work. So I'm trying my best to hold it together, hold back the tears. I could feel them welling up in my eyes. I can feel my heart, quickening. I could feel the warmth in my body rising. And I just looked around the office and thought about the position I had worked for, the achievements, the recognition, the admiration of peers, or colleagues, or coworkers, the respect. And all I could think was, what am I doing here? What am I doing and what am I doing here? I don't want to be here anymore. It wasn't that my job was terrible or that the coworkers sucked. It was nothing like that. From the outside, everything looked fine. Everything looked successful. But sitting there, something was missing, and I knew it was missing. I just couldn't put my finger on it, and that was very frustrating for someone, like myself. You want to have the answers. You want to know the answers. You want to know why something is happening, and you want to know what you need to do. But this was unnerving. This was a feeling of the loss that was also too like failure in a way. It was a feeling of shame on some levels, because that uncertainty put me in a place of unknown. And here I was a leader, and you are the person that people are coming to, getting answers, you're monitoring things, but here you are, leader and all, and you are lost in your own life. Who are you going to tell this to? Of course, there are people you can tell, but in those moments, you feel like you are in this alone. You feel ill-equipped. You're vulnerable in that state, and you just don't feel empowered on any level. And you're trying to figure out why you don't feel empowered, why you don't know the answers, why you don't know, what to do. Why can't you figure out what's going on in your life when you can help all of these people around you? But it's different, because here I was, I'm thinking, here at my age, I've accomplished this, that, and the third, but I don't want to be here. How could I explain that when I didn't quite know what was happening? That moment changed so much for me, because what I thought was a crisis was actually the setup for something more. Here's something I want you to also think about. Not knowing what you want anymore isn't a breakdown. Think of it as a breakthrough. When you're burned out, you tend to lose sight of what God created you to be. Not the version of you, that serves others, that you present to yourself when you're outward in the world, living your careers and etc. But the actual you, the one with the dreams, the desires, and the purpose that goes beyond meeting everyone else's needs. You can't find your own clarity because you're pushing too hard. Clarity doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from finally listening, being still and listening. Has anyone ever said to you that busyness is often a mask for confusion? If you are a busy person, but you feel like, okay, I am doing a lot of things. I was doing this, I was doing that, but you're not moving forward in a sense of gaining traction, gaining momentum. Why? Because you haven't cleared the noise. Let me give you some examples of what that would look like in a real life situation. Let's say you want to launch a project, but every time you sit down, you second guess the topic. You second guess the name. Maybe this timing isn't right. Is it the right season? Ask yourself, what do I know for sure about what I want? And where can I start from that instead? Because you're never going to be able to answer all the questions or get all of the parameters in line. Even after you quote unquote do that, you'll find something else. What do I know for sure about what I want? And then where can I start from that instead? Here's another example. You're overwhelmed by your schedule, right? But you don't want to let anyone down. It could be your home schedule, if you're a stay-at-home mom. It could be a business owner, a scheduling situation. You have people that depend on you. Ask yourself, okay, so what one thing on my plate today doesn't align with my values and can wait maybe or be removed completely? These are the kinds of micro shifts that begin your reset. These are the types of things that will allow you to find space for the clarity to come through. We're going to practice something right now. Right now here while you're watching the video. You're going to pick one area between the mind, the heart, the body, and the soul. And you're going to ask yourself, where do I feel most cluttered today amongst those areas? You're not here to fix it right now. You're just going to name it. Okay? Clarity begins with awareness, not action. So we're going to try and become a little bit more aware right now. Let's take the area of the mind first. Mental overload. Imagine you're constantly running mental checklists. Did I reply to that message? Did I sign the school form? Did I turn in the papers that I needed to at work? Did I submit this document for my business? Should I research that thing I forgot yesterday? Even when you sit down, your brain's still buffering. That's mental clutter. Here's a clue also. You're mentally tired before the day even starts. That's a clue of mental overload, mental clutter. So if that's your area, you want to ask yourself this question. What thought keeps circling even when I'm trying to rest? Let's say your trouble area is the heart, the emotional weight. You're smiling through disappointment. You're saying yes when you want to say no. You're holding back tears because it's not the right time. Remember me sitting at that desk? That's emotional clutter. It's resentment. It could be resentment, it could be resentment, guilt, unspoken grief, all of that. And it just keeps piling up. So a clue for that is that your mood shifts quickly and you can't name why. So that might be an emotional weight. So if you find that that's where your area is, that's disturbing you at the moment, answer this question. What emotion have I been avoiding or stuffing down? Okay, let's say your issues are with the body, an energy drain. You're dragging yourself from task to task. You cancel things last minute because your body is saying, nope. That's a physical clutter. It's a burnout, neglected needs. Okay. So another clue is that basically you feel tired. Ask yourself this question. What is my body asking me for today that I keep ignoring? And if you have an answer, then that may be your area that you need to address today. And last but not least, the soul. So a spiritual disconnection may be the issue with you today. You're doing all the right things. You're praying, you have a routine, you're serving, but it feels mechanical. It feels like rote memorization, right? You don't feel spiritually nourished, just morally obligated, spiritually obligated. That would be soul clutter. Another clue of that is that you feel disconnected from a deeper purpose with the Creator. So ask yourself this anchoring question. What part of my faith or values feels like it's on autopilot? And if you have an answer for that, then that may be the area you need to address today. Don't try and address all the areas. Pause the video if you need to. Answer those questions. Find out what area is the loudest, because you can't heal what you won't acknowledge. While we're talking about it, drop a comment below and tell me, which compass point do you feel most disconnected from? Stop for a moment and ask yourself right now, what would you do if no one was watching you and there was no one that needed anything from you in this moment? Imagine what you would be doing. No one needs you and there's no one around to watch you. You are completely free. You're in a sacred in-between space. And it is here in this space that breakthroughs begin. I want to help women like us. Remember, we're not just here to survive. We're here to thrive. And that thriving starts with knowing who you are when no one is watching. A lot of us keep trying to plan our way out of chaos. I am guilty at times as well when I forget. But if your clarity is foggy, your calendar or planner is just becoming one more thing on that to-do list that you're unsure about. Because I was feeling the way I was feeling, I created a tool for women like us who need that space. It's called the Clarity Compass. It's 7 days of gentle questions that help you remember who you are outside of what you do. It's not a workbook to fix you. It's a guide to help you find yourself. So here's a quick snapshot of what it walks you through. Compass Point has those areas that we were just talking about: mind, heart, body, and soul. The mind, your clarity focus is on what mental noise needs to be decluttered. Heart, what desire or fear is unspoken but driving your choices. Body, where are you overspending your energy? And soul, what values or faith anchors are being ignored right now? I put together a free preview sheet to help you try it out. Just one page with one small clarity question per area. You'll be quite surprised what bubbles up when you stop long enough to ask yourself the right questions. Download the Clarity Compass preview sheet below. Print it out, journal with it, or just sit quietly with the prompts. This is your way to start your reset, and you do it however it suits your needs. I want more women like us to remember that we're not just here to survive. We are here not just in service of others. We are here to thrive, and that sometimes thriving starts with knowing who you are when no one is watching. That feeling you felt when I asked you to close your eyes, the lightness, that freeness, that's where the clarity begins. Let's have some more conversation. Check out a couple of these videos.